Hi everyone and welcome to Season 9, Episode 4 of From Hope to Glory at Truro City with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So, in the Championship, in the most recent fixtures, we've had some up and down performances, some up and down results, but overall we're still doing fantastically well, sitting in 8th position. And today we get a game against Middlesboro, one of the more trickier sides in the league. So can we get a result today and take the points? Let's find out. So Middlesbrough are a tricky side and they are going to be tough today. Having said that, they're not doing as well as they may normally be doing. They're sitting currently in 18th position in the Championship with us in 8th. So you can see that they are slightly off the pace, but overall, I think they're still going to be a bit of a tough game today. They're sitting down in 18th position, as I say, on 27 points. We're up in 8th position on 39 points. And we are actually still in contact with those directly above us. Anywhere up to like Hull is pretty much within our grasp if results go our way over the next few weeks. But we've got the likes of Middlesbrough today. The next match after that, I think, is Leeds United, who are directly behind us. If we could win that one, that would open up a little bit of a gap and give us a bit of a breathing space to those below us. But that's going to be a really hard game. But anyway, that's for another day. For today, we've got Middlesbrough in the Championship. You can see that everything's ticking along quite nicely. We'll have a look at the recent results in a minute. Financially speaking, we've got enough in the balance to be happy. Not enough to play with in the transfer market, though, for January, probably. We'll have to sell to buy, and I'm not sure we'll be doing that or not. We'll have to wait and see. The only other issue that we've got is that our top goal scorer is our left-sided winger. Sarmiento with 7 goals. We cannot get much out of the strike force, to be honest. The likes of Mellon, McJanet, Hull and Abu Bakar in rotation haven't really been doing it. The only one that's got anywhere close is Mellon. He's going to be starting today's match. Bakar, the youngster that we've had this season, not really doing it at this moment, and that's a little bit disappointing. We'll check that out a little bit more when we go into the pre-match tactics. But yeah, we've got to make a change, and so Mellon's coming in, and probably we'll keep that position for a couple of games just to see if he can get on a bit of a run. But having said all of that, before we get into the game against Middlesbrough, remember that I'm now live streaming on Twitch every afternoon, UK time, 3 till 5 p.m. And then these videos come out at 6:30 p.m. on the YouTube channel. So put all of those things in your schedule and come along to the live stream and say hi. Having a few gremlins in the work just in the early stages of it. As I speak, I've only done 2 live streams so far, but it's going okay. And once we get the technical issues sorted out, then it's going to go brilliantly, I'm sure. But yeah, come and join us for that. But before we go into Middlesbrough, let's go and check out our most recent results with Truro and see what the form has been like. So you and I were together for the Oxford United game last, a 2-0 win. It was good. It led to another couple of very good wins against Coventry and Blackburn. Then we went on one of our runs a little bit. You can see through the season, dotted through, there are sections where the form just kind of deserts us for a while. And we had one of those runs a little bit from Millwall right the way through till Stoke. 3 losses, 2 draws, 1 win in that period of half a dozen matches. But in the most recent games, Preston and Peterborough, we won 3-0 and 2-1. That's good to get momentum back into the players' play and a little bit of morale back into the side. So hopefully that's going to enable us for a good performance today, whatever the result. It's away from home as well, so that's always going to be tricky against a side like Middlesbrough. But we're going to give it as best shot as we can. So those are the recent results. It has been a little bit mixed, but hopefully today we can continue this mini winning run that we've just started. So in terms of setup, nothing has changed in terms of the actual setup of the structure of our play, other than I've decided to withdraw the Metzala role from attacking into support. Both Chiwunga and Joe White, who have been rotating in this particular position a little bit, and also McManus as well, who has been really poor this season so far on a 6.58 average rating after 6 starts and 4 sub appearances. He's not going to get anywhere near the starting lineup for a little while playing like that. But Chiwunga or White have been playing this role, and I think just dropping them slightly deeper might help them to get on the ball a little bit more and impact the play a bit more. So that's going to happen from today. Other than that, the only bit of personnel news is Ben Amor, who is our left fullback rotation option. He's going to be out for today's match. He's just got a little bit of a knock. He's not, he's nothing to totally write home about. There's lots of gaps around, but actually he's just about to get a run in the side, really, because he is improving a little bit. This doesn't show it today, but he has been improving a little bit compared to what Truro has been doing on that left fullback position. So you can see that there are more gaps here. So we are just about to change those two players over and see if we can get something out of Ben Amor once he's fit enough to do it. So there are a couple of changes, one up top, one at left fullback, a change in midfield in terms of the player role that we've got, just enough to try and freshen things up a little bit. So yeah, he's the only one out injured for today, and he won't be that long before he's back in. What's he got? A couple of days, 5 days before he's back. Other than that, everybody else is fit and healthy. You can see that we've been able to rotate most of these around a little bit because their match sharpness is reasonable. We've talked about the fact that Abu Bakar can't seem to score at all, unfortunately. 2 goals in 13 matches. Now, the one thing I think that goes against him, to be honest, in what is some very good attributes for a striker that we want to play, is I think his concentration levels are not particularly high, and maybe that's where it's just dropping off a little bit. But he is still only young. If we give him a bit of a break from the first team, maybe he'll come back in and start bagging the goals for the second part of the season. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see for that one. But Mellon starts today. So for the game against Middlesbrough, we've got Mbayu in goal, Fink at right back, Cerula at left back, McCann and Reddy in central defence, Adeniran, Williams and Chiwunga in central midfield, Wright Phillips on the right, Sarmiento on the left, and Mellon up top with a bench of Finlayson, Clark, Rossiter, White, Ibrahim, Apoku and Abu Bakar. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've gone with a fairly calm team talk, but just to suggest to them that it's a great opportunity to show the pundits that they've been right to back you. We've been getting some good feedback from them in the press recently, so I think everybody's a little bit surprised at how well we're doing, kind of including myself. But it's a good chance to see if we can really stamp on that today and keep that momentum going. Just as Middlesbrough get an early cross in down that left-hand side. We get a counter-attack, though. Mellon takes a jinx past a defender really nicely. Opens up the space completely. Can't quite get it past the goalkeeper who parries it out for a corner. But a good first attempt from Mellon in the game. Corner comes in and it's partially cleared. And it's Middlesbrough that pick up that loose ball. And there goes that particular highlight. But we turned a defensive situation for ourselves into an offensive situation. Of course, we've got an old boy playing against us today, Turk, who's up here playing as a striker for Middlesbrough. We had him on loan last season and he scored an absolute ton of goals for us. We tried to get him back on loan for this season. They weren't having it and has since been playing in their first team squad. I don't think he's been doing so well. I think he's not even quite into double figures in terms of goal scoring so far this season. So I think that's dropped off a little bit for him. But here they come again, and here he comes again. And there you go. It's written in the stars, isn't it? Absolutely. I could have told you before the game that he was going to score against us. Absolutely. There was no doubt in my mind that that was going to happen at some point, and it just did. A nice through ball. Was he a little bit on the edge of being offside? Possibly, but I don't think he actually was. We'll have to see if they give us a third look at it. They are giving us a third look at it. I think it's going to be close. But yeah, he made his run very nicely. The two central defenders opened the gap up for him to go down the middle. Too much. One of those should have been absolutely taking more responsibility for that. And they do go 1-0 up. After half hour of the game, you can see that in terms of the statistics, they are shading it slightly in terms of chances created. And here's another one off a corner kick. McCann with a good header. Can we get a really good counter-attack? It's a great opportunity. Plenty of space for Wright Phillips to run into. Gets all the way to the penalty box and then puts it in behind the likes of Mellon and Sarmiento. Sarmiento has to rescue it, and we've had to go all the way back to keep hold of the ball. But we do it brilliantly well until that opportunity for Sarmiento was just that little bit too narrow, wasn't it? Slightly. And the goalkeeper had it covered. But at least we were showing a little bit in that period of play that we can still get through on them. Given the right moments for a decent pass in, there are still chances for us. We shaded it in possession, which is decent. Passing completion is good for us, so I'm happy with that. XG rating, they're obviously on 1.08, having got their goal. 9 shots at goal, 4 on target, 4 and 3 for us, and only 0.5 on the XG. So we've had a couple of half chances, but nothing particularly special. Let's go and check in on Turk, because he really did score a bucket load of goals for us last season. He's only got 8 in 26 this time around. 5 assists though, but if we compare that to last season when he was on loan to us, 33 in 40 matches last season. You can see why they wanted to keep him and give him a run in their first team, but it's not quite worked out for him. He's a decent striker, though. I really do rate him, and I would have kept him if I could. But there we go. And he was absolutely always going to come back and bite us, wasn't he? Especially when silly me, I start talking about him in the middle of the game. What was I thinking? Anyway, let's move on from that and go into the dressing room and talk to our own players and not about the Middlesbrough ones. So I think we're going to have to be a little bit forceful. There's only a 1-0 deficit so far, but we need to up our game a little bit. Point the finger. I expect to see a much better half, the second half. Let's go into the tactics. And we're just going to move up from the mentality of balanced into positive and just see if we can get something out of that on the front foot in the second half. And once we go in, normally, of course, I go in into the shouts and fire them up at the start of the second half. So we'll do that as well. Hopefully that will get us something a little bit more impactful going forward. But at the moment, we have to defend. And again, it's down the right-hand side for Borough. And they get a good ball in. It's partially cleared, but again, they pick it up on the left-hand side. They're winning a lot of those loose balls, aren't they? That's always the way, unfortunately. And there's a good chance. And what happened there... It looks like we gave away a penalty, and it's going to be Turk again to really put us to the sword. It is, and he does. I can feel a hat-trick coming on here, if I'm honest. It's just one of those feelings that you get. Good penalty. Mbaye went the wrong way. And unfortunately, that means that they are now 2-0 up, and we didn't really get a chance to get going in this second half before that really happened. So that's a little bit disappointing. I think what we're going to have to do is something quite significant to change this. At 60 minutes, we're going to pause. We're going to go into the tactics, and I'm going to change it round a little bit. And we're going to go into the 4-4-2. And to do that, we're going to take out, again, you see, Chewunga in that Metzala role. Both he and White not playing great, but neither is Williams today. Neither of those midfield two are playing well. So we're going to get rid of both of them, actually. We are going to take Chewunga out and we're going to bring White in, but then we're going to take Williams out and put Abu Bakar up top as well and play a 4-4-2. So we'll move him up top alongside Mellon. We'll figure out a player role in a second, and then we'll just move Adeniran into midfield, and he can still play the ball-winning midfielder alongside Joe White, who we're going to make a box-to-box midfielder, I think, for the remainder of the game. And then what do we want to do up top? I think we're going to switch this round a little bit. We're going to play Abu Bakar as the poacher, and then we're going to go and look at Mellon. And for Mellon, we're going to play him as a pressing forward, I think. So we're going to do those two things. And we're going to change up and go to the wide wing play. And just see if we can get round the sides of them and change it into attacking. And just see if we can get something from those two strikers up top. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's hope that at least we can impact the play somehow. Obviously, we've made those couple of changes. We've still got one more that we can do in a little while if need be. But for now, again, it's a corner kick for us, but it was cleared well by Borough, but Fink picks it up in the full-back position, having sat back from the corner kick. And then they're playing about with it too much in this particular area that I don't always like. And then we go over the top, and I really like that. And Mellon got on the end of it, but again, it was pushed too narrow an angle. And again, it was a bit kind of straight at the goalkeeper and easy for him to deal with. And again, Middlesbrough come back at us. Is this the opportunity for a hat-trick? I said it earlier, I thought we would get one. Oh, he was close, wasn't he? He's a pain. I don't like him now that he plays for Middlesbrough. He's on the corner kicks as well. He's everywhere at the moment, Turk. And the corner comes in. Unfortunately, we get it away on this occasion. 75 minutes, we're going to pause the game, go back into the tactics and make one more substitution, see what we can do. I think we're going to take off one of our wide men. Our fullbacks are not doing brilliantly today, to be fair. Do I want to take off a wide man? I think I'll leave them on and we'll take Fink off. He's got a yellow card and he's not playing well. I think that's more sensible to do that. So Darnell Clark will come in and play the fullback role for the remainder of the game. I don't think we need to change anything else particularly. We're already on attacking. I think, to go any more attacking than that would be a little bit silly. So we'll go in and we'll demand more from them for the last 10 minutes of the match. Can we get a goal back? I knew this game was going to be tricky. Middlesbrough sitting in 18th was a little bit of a red herring, I thought. They're always going to be tough, especially when they've got a striker who used to play for us. Good tackle there, though. That's worthwhile doing. We like that. But then it's too wayward, and it wasn't wide, was it really? It wasn't moving down the wide areas. That's a good bit of play from Middlesbrough getting in on the goal again. And they've moved Turk out to this right-hand side now. They shifted that a little while ago. And there's a 2-0 win for Middlesbrough. It was disappointing, really. In terms of the statistics for the match, you can see it was fairly even, really. 13-7 for them, 8-5 for us in terms of shots and then on target. Their XG rating deserved their 2 goals. Ours didn't really. And that's the tale of it, really. Turk came along and really showed us that he was decent for us last season and is decent again for Borough. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So fortunately for us, the loss against Middlesbrough hasn't actually changed our league position. People around us had similar sorts of issues today. So it means that we're still sitting in 8th position, which is still fantastic. Brilliant job so far. We've got January window coming up. We've got Leeds United next. A couple of other big sides in there, Birmingham, Palace, the like. We've also got a game in the FA Cup 3rd round coming up that hasn't been drawn yet in terms of the opponents there. So that will be interesting to see who we get at that point. So we're going to come back next episode after the January window closes just to see if we've managed to do anything. I could absolutely change a couple of people around and maybe sell a couple and bring a couple in, possibly. But I think it's going to be a little bit tricky with very, very limited finance in those wage budgets and transfer budgets. So it's unlikely, but you never know. Anyway, come back next episode. We'll play Reading away from home. I'll then update you on everything that's happened in the league in the January window, plus those transfers and that FA Cup tie as well. Until then, though, thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget, 3 p.m. till 5 p.m. every weekday. I'm now live on Twitch. If you haven't dropped in to say hi yet, do come along. You'll be most welcome to do so. Here, though, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, come and join my United City community here. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by lots more people. Go and check all the links in the description below to my Discord, to my Twitter account, to my Patreon. All the good stuff is there. Until next time, though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.